Thanks for tuning back in. I'm Tommy Campbell, still bald, still in my basement, and still thinking about Jimmy Carter, who spent his post-presidency building houses with Habitat for Humanity into his late 90s, while Donald Trump has spent his post-presidency losing in court, crashing weddings, and selling NFTs and Liberace high tops to his gravy-sealed base. Trump sneakers are so ridiculous he was booed off the stage at SneakerCon, fitting place for him to launch his latest grift, but what's even tackier than his made-in-China Air Jordan Converse Chuck Taylor spray tan dip sneakers are the conservative blowhards rushing to defend them. Trump owes $500 million, and with a 9% interest rate on the civil fraud judgment, his debt is going up by over $87,000 per day. So he's turned the grift up to 11 with more expensive products for his base that complains about the shrinkflation they are facing at the dinner table when the wife cracks open the Sunday Funyuns and there's less in the bag. I'll be having a laugh mocking the fine print around his sneakers, the cologne he quietly launched alongside the shoes, and those claiming this pivot is a victory. Plus, there's a new genuine page from my special copy of Lauren Boebert's book and more, but first, this.
4 years ago, I started watching Real America's Voice. I'm a big sports guy, but I stopped watching sports completely because when sports went woke, I dropped them. And I used to watch Fox News up until about 4 years ago, and I dropped Fox. When Fox News couldn't say that Florida won for Trump, and they said Arizona was Biden or whatever they did, when they messed all that up, I knew that wasn't my channel, and I left Faux News back then. And I found Steve Bannon on War Room, and I was searching for answers. And I've been watching ever since. Raheem was on back then, and a couple of the other couple of the other guys, but I've been religiously watching Real America's Voice, especially Steve Bannon. I try to get all 4 hours in, and if I can't watch all four, I videotape it and watch it when I can. But the other thing was,
even the American flag wants this guy to shut up. I love it trying to gag him while he attempts to remember why he stopped loving Fox News and how he won't watch sports because they are woke. Imagine being so ignorant that you're going to give up on watching your favorite teams try to go the distance so you can support Steve Bannon, a guy with 3 shirts and 0 interest in people like this fella unless it's to make a buck off them. The multi-pen skincare enthusiast was the advisory board chair of the We Build the Wall campaign, which raised more than $25 million from hundreds of thousands of donors like this guy, and it was a complete scam. It is pouring MAGA Tears. I played in 35 countries for over 2 decades, but most days you'll find me here. Thanks for taking in this bald comedian's take on things. Please join the best subscribers on YouTube while I blast the latest and stupid and more. Donald Trump got in the ugly shoe game because Kanye shouldn't be the only one selling tasteless, overpriced stuff to fools. Yeezys are hideous and stupid. Lunatics give hundreds for ridiculous shoes that look like they were designed by a blindfolded dumpling chef for the extras in a sci-fi movie with a Kevin Sorbo budget. Part of me is amazed that it took the fake Bone Spur guy this long to get in the shoe game, but he never uses his own products, so I doubt we'll see him wedging into a pair anytime soon. But the first run of these official sneakers were $399 each. That's $399 each. And as per the fine print, at least 10 were randomly autographed by Trump. Doesn't even note if it was 10 pairs, just 10 shoes, at least 10. Even Anonymous is posting about Trump's sneakers. Air treasons. Perfect.
Wow, a lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion in this room. Thank you. So the really nice thing is we have lines, and I want to thank Chase and I want to thank Alan.
Wow, a lot of emotion in this room. You know Eric was waiting backstage with the Turk tongs for a diaper swap after that one. Trump is not used to getting this sort of reaction because everywhere he goes, his team loads the deck for him. The people behind Trump at rallies holding those signs, those greeting him when he arrives, they're all part of a promotional effort. They're on the team. And there's a lot of herd mentality involved with crowd work. It takes one person to get an applause break going, and at his events, they have folks there to cheer till they're blue in the face. But this event was last second, so he didn't have the usual setup, and this crowd was not having it.
I love that them. They're dope.
Yeah, very smart. Look, the website says this is not political, has nothing to do with any political campaign. That being said, what a contrast. You know, Trump's out there being creative and nimble, and Biden's what, in the basement or in Delaware?
The T Red Wave and the POTUS 45 are $1.99 each, and the fine print notes that the images shown are for illustration purposes only and may not be an exact representation of the product when you buy a jacket online. Like the others, the less expensive versions also don't require one to tie a bow, because laces are hard. Many have pointed out that there are pairs of similar shoes, likely the exact ones he's added a T and 5 stars to, for under $20. And if he was ordering in bulk, he'd be paying as little as $10 a pair. Only the best and brightest for MAGA. The truth is, if Donald Trump wants to make gold shoes for his base, he is Tucker Carlson with a shopping cart out of touch here. Because MAGA aren't a nimble bunch. They aren't shooting hoops. They're on the futon in Crocs. Now, I'll probably get some comments about how I'm hating on Crocs. And for the record, I dig their flip-flops. I own 2 pairs. But the standard issue Croc is not what one would call a panty remover. Now, it depends on how old you are, but when I think of gold shoes, I think of the man with the golden shoes. Remember when the Olympic gold shoe was created for Michael Johnson in the Summer Olympics in 1996? That was exciting. It was very arrogant, but it was exciting, and he did win.
I can seriously see those, but nobody merchandises like Donald Trump does. There is nobody who can move merch like Donald Trump. I've never seen any Joe Biden merchandise anywhere. Nikki Haley has tried it. She has failed. Donald Trump knows what he's doing. And if we want to talk about connecting with young people, maybe not the worst idea in the world.
Right.
Joe Biden doesn't need to merchandise like Donald Trump because he's busy being a great president. He's not $500 million in the hole, and he knows that selling tat like this doesn't give you a lot of credibility. They look like they were made by a stoned cake decorator at Dairy Queen. Ridiculous. Trump moves merch because he has the dumbest supporters. He's the king of the dum-dums. And before he was the Trump we know today, he struggled to sell things. Over 90% of his ventures flopped. Along with the sneaker launch, the guy that had Trump smells and Trump stinks trending released a cologne. It's labeled Eau de Parfum, but it's strong enough to hide his Eau de Toilette. When people are coming forward saying you smell foul and you release a cologne, is that like your way of admitting you smell or not? The bottle reminds me of Truff hot sauce. I tried that once out of curiosity and it went down the drain. And for the ladies, what's up? The female version looks like something you buy at an all-night shop with a flickering neon sign or the aisle at Target that Marjorie Taylor Greene protests. I guess people don't need to frequent those shops as much these days, but you do see a few out there in the wild, and when I do, I always think of the first time I bought an adult VHS tape. I was 18, working full-time as a cook. I had a carpal tunnel wrist brace and was not a hit with the ladies. So this was a very important purchase. I went there on the way home from work around 1 a.m., and after some serious but quick browsing, I picked the tape and head to the till. Now, picture the comic book guy from The Simpsons, but with an ankle monitor and a neck tattoo. And he was on the phone, just talking away as much as he could because he didn't want to be seen there either, so he had his head half turned, hiding behind the receiver. I pay cash, tuck it in my chef jacket, and hop in my Ford Escort unseen. Yes. Then I turn the key, and nothing. The battery was dead. Now, people today have free access to this sort of thing, so they don't know what we had to go through at an adult video store. It's not the kind of place for stop-in chats. It's head down, never make eye contact, just make your purchase and move on. So the thought of asking a fellow patron to jumpstart my car was going to be out of the question. Like, are you out of your mind? Even the least fit people leaving those types of stores managed to dive roll to their cars. COVID would have been great back then. I assure you, there would be no anti-maskers in one of these shops. Now, this was also before cell phones, so I had to go back inside in my chef jacket and ask the Simpsons comic book guy with an ankle monitor and a neck tattoo if I could borrow the phone that he was on to call AAA for a boost. Yeah, my car won't start. What's your location? Big Dan's 24-hour House of Smut. What's the address here? Needless to say, it was a long time before I decided to venture out and get a new movie. Also, one of my favorite underrated one-liners that I wrote is, I'd like to open a used adult video store just so I can call it secondhand.
This is something I've been talking about for 12 years, 13 years, and I think it's going to be a big success.
He's been talking about it for 12 years. He's talking about these at $399 a pop. He's also selling cheaper sneakers. Not cheaper looking, of course. That would not be possible. Less expensive.
Not cheaper looking. That would not be possible. Anderson Cooper, with the mic drop. That was very good. Thank you. I see every tip from pennies to dollars. They are hugely appreciated and help make this show possible. If you love what I do here and you can afford to help out, throw me a buck with the PayPal link in the pinned comment or drop me a super thanks with this button. And please take 2 seconds after this video to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. These things are free and help the show grow. Thank you. Now, the website says it's run by CIC Ventures, LLC, and that the products on the site are registered trademarks and/or trademarks of CIC Ventures, LLC. It also says that Trump sneakers are not designed, manufactured, distributed, or sold by Donald J. Trump, the Trump Organization, or any of their respective affiliates or principals. But in his 2023 financial disclosure, Trump reported owning CIC Ventures, LLC. For those new to the show, I'm glad you found me. Thank you. For a year and a half, I've been reading genuine pages from my special copy of Lauren Boebert's book. This really is a ton of fun. I only do this once a week, and it's been pretty wild. Let's get back to it. Jason wasted no time and jammed it in the hole, but nothing was happening. His hand was getting cramped from trying, and I was beginning to seriously shiver while Jason jiggled and twisted the old key. I kept Mountain Dew close to my chest for warmth, and I could sense Jason's frustration, so I offered, "I'll find the sweet spot." "The lock's ice. It needs heat," barked Jason, "so fire up the old corncob face hole." I leaned forward and gave it several steamy breaths, and then he plunged it in. Still nothing. "Is that even the right key?" I asked. He dangled the rabbit's foot in front of my plastic eyeglasses. "It's the right key. You just gotta keep trying." You see, in our family, failure is not an option. So he kept on working the icy slot, and I kept on trying not to freeze in the parking lot of our gun-themed grill. I got out my cell phone, and without blinking, my husband knocked it to the snow. "No locksmiths." I am not calling a locksmith. I have a man that can fix things. "You got this, Jason. I'm just freezing, and I need to move. And I can't move without some music." My chip press-on nail hit play, and the sound of Loverboy filled the lot. It was sub-zero, but I, Lauren Opal Boebert, faded into the moonlight, and Valentine took over, using the power of "the kid is hot tonight" to get hot tonight. I could feel my circulation starting to work again as I busted out all my top moves. The problem was Jason was enchanted by his morning hot bowling alley bride working for the weekend, and it was a distraction. He abandoned the backdoor problems like the mold in our kid's bedroom and was sitting on a milk crate cheering me on. As much as I love having a supportive man in my life, and I really do, this was about keeping warm while he fixed a problem. Turn Me Loose came on, and this Colorado Wildcat slid across a patch of black ice, pulling off a show-stopping sideways moonwalk that would have brought the house down at Lady Bun's. I snatched the key from Jason's hand and tucked it under my armpit. This did not help me dance, and I probably looked a bit silly, seeing as I was down a limb, but I had a plan. I took the key back out and held it above my head, pointing it to God. "It's steaming," said Jason in shock. I handed it back to him, because the song wasn't over, and no dancer stops short of a song, especially a Loverboy song. Jason slid the key in, and the lock clicking was the sound of freedom. I raised Mountain Dew up and asked him, "Are you hungry?" He didn't reply, but I had a good feeling he needed something in his tummy. It was like a fairy tale. If you've enjoyed this genuine page from Low Rent Boozburb's book, let me know in the comments, and I'll see about reading another page sometime soon. Oh, please, your lies, lies, and more lies. MAGA Tears. You don't want to make America great? MAGA Tears. Really, at no point did Carlson condone what Putin was saying. He asked direct questions and asked for clarification time and again. He did what true journalists do, not what MSM dishes up. Most MSM hacks would have asked for recipes for stroganoff. MAGA Tears. They look like they were made by a stoned cake decorator at Dairy Queen. He abandoned the backdoor problems like the mold in our kid's bedroom. I was sitting on a milk crate cheering me on. COVID would have been great back then, I assure you. There would be no anti-masters. He dangled the Robert's foot. Alongside the sneaker launch, the guy that had Trump smells and Trump stinks trending released a cologne. It's labeled Eau de Parfum, but it's strong enough to hide his eau de toilette. I have a man that can fix things. You got this, Jason. I'm just freezing, and I need to move. And I can't move without some music. Sneaker launch, the guy that had Trump smells and Trump stinks trending released a cologne. It's labeled eau de parfum, but it's strong enough to hide his eau de toilette. My chipped press-on nails hit play. Jimmy Carter, who spent his post-presidency building houses with Habitat for Humanity into his late 90s, while Donald Trump spent his post-presidency losing in court, crashing weddings, and selling NFTs and Liberace high tops to his gravy seal base. Can you imagine those guys running around in those ridiculous shoes? Their digital trading cards? Got my NFT. Jason wasted no time and jammed it in the hole, but nothing. Thanks for watching. Please stick around and check out another one of my videos. Say hello in the comments. Find my stand-up on Spotify, streamed by millions, and add me on Facebook and Instagram. It all helps. Be cool, be kind, take care.